And we're back with what seems to be the fourth night of Rot's Run that got a little complicated on us. And hopefully we'll finish it up tonight, right, guys?
God
Hopefully,
will.
So, yeah.
Jet will live and stuff.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that nothing goes wrong whenever somebody gets involved with a cult.
So, just to like say what happened between the sessions. Ali and Hex were traveling with the Frogman, whose name is apparently Mortimer, and he was leading them to catch up with Dante and Jet. Sue is still out and driving home, and Dante is following Jet, if I remember correctly, stealthily.
Yep.
So who should I start with? I think I can just honestly say that Hex and Ali arrived at the place where Dante was last seen at, where Frogman left them. But that will be a couple of probably like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes after they actually left and stuff, because time and such.
Okay.
I mean, is this correct? Does someone else have different opinion on time? Because me and time,
Sounds about right. And to me, yeah.
Up to
Okay.
you, baby.
Thank you, honey. So, Jet. Oh, Dante, you see Jet disarming himself, feeling like really loose and happy. If you ever seen him happy.
And I
he
think
just
the last words were, "See you later, man."
yeah. And you walk into the corridor. The little like purpley, pipey stuff that I drew is the general outline of the corridor. Now, could someone who can actually move things, move the rich troll partner, quote unquote friend stuff out of the way so that I can move my drawing? Thank you. Whoa. So as I said before, this is not up to scale, but loosely. Yes. And you follow up and you go with these guys. The orc is going first, and he is they're like mostly orcs, one troll if I remember correctly, and the troll is like walking next to you with his hand around your like on your shoulders, smiling with all his tusks out, and like doing this sort of like haunted small talk where he's like, "You're gonna so love this, man. I mean, this is incredible. This is everything you can think about here. This is peace." And he just takes out something from a pocket and puts it into your like vest or something that you have on you, or like a or just any other pocket.
Yeah.
Some kind of an inhaler stuff. And he just pats it and it's like, for later.
I have a question. How much of Jet is left, so to speak? Like, how is it that everything he's just overcome with euphoria and he feels peaceful, or
Yes.
has he sort of like, does he still have his thoughts, but they're just colored by this effect?
I was thinking, and I feel a little bad about what I did last time, because this is not quite the influence level of influence like the spell. So I'm gonna say, if you wanna try maybe hiding one of your weapons, like on you or something, because you right now you feel most like peaceful and happy, and you wouldn't see need for guns, but you're a Shadowrunner, so you have your instincts. So I would say like If you wanted some like roll or something and add 2 dice or 3 dice, maybe even, because that was maybe a bit of a mistake. Wanna?
Okay, sure.
Some kind of like a palming roll or something. You know, you have your instincts. You could have like hidden your gun.
Yeah, no problem.
Because there's influence and then there's feeling good and stuff. Not exactly the same.
All right, palming.
Something like that, yeah.
Sure.
I'm not gonna be strict here.
Let me just double check if this applies.
If I'm coughing and dying, it's because I drank a little bit of moonshine.
Okay.
And add like 3 dice, let's say. Because,
Okay, cool.
sorry.
Crap. Basic math.
1,000,000 plus 3. 1,000,003.
3 successes.
Mm-hmm. And now for a quick... Okay.
Wait, that might be modified because it's in a concealed holster.
Okay.
Heavy pistol, concealed holster. So, yeah.
So that makes me roll less dice or something. No? It makes you roll more dice?
I think it increases the threshold to notice it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? It was one success. I'm gonna say because I messed stuff up, I'm gonna say yeah, you have it on you. He didn't pay that much attention. He was kind of convinced that with whatever's happening in your mind right now and whatever's happening with everyone around you, that was enough. So
And
he
maybe
took.
Jet forgot.
Oh, maybe you forgot. Anyway, you're traveling around this part. I'm gonna here. And there are like corridors, and it's like you can imagine the technical corridors in the metro. Not very high, a little bit narrow, so you're traveling like in a line and stuff. And there's like a labyrinth here a little bit.
Guys, I can't paint. Is that okay?
Yeah. That's
really good, and I don't want you to don't set your standards too high. I'm basically at finger painting.
Are you done? Thank you. I mean, I needed that and stuff, but anyway, you travel through the labyrinth part, and it starts getting a little bit brighter, and you start smelling like incense. And it is really nice, and it stops reeking of sewers and like old garbage and everything. And as you're traveling, you start seeing that there's less and less stuff lying on the floor. And I would like to also ask Dante, in what fashion are you following? Do you enter the corridor just waiting for them to go away?
Yeah, I'm gonna just trail them, just trying to stay within earshot, but stealth is far more important.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna basically follow them.
You rolled something, 6 successes, something, right?
Sounds about right. Can roll again if you want.
I'm gonna stick with that. Too much rolling happened already. So once again, just see what did they think about it. If they seem really focused. So, Jet, you being led by the orc, who turns around and over his shoulder throws something like, "Welcome to the Enclave, man," and he sort of walks just through the room, and you see this half dome of like a hemisphere of a room filled with all kinds of people. You see trogs, you see the Scorchas, you see normal people, like 90% orcs and trolls, but you also see like 2 humans, and they are doing, for lack of a better word, like hippie stuff. Some of them sit under the wall and are just zoned out. Some of them are sculpting. Some of them are painting. Some of them are just standing in place and loudly reciting like poems or just gibberish.
Is there a drum circle?
There is absolutely a drum circle, and they start waving you in and everything. And you can see that mostly everyone has like comlink and some, either cables or some trodes or something. But other than that, there are only. You know what? Roll me a perception check. Just like your normal perception.
Visual, hearing, what are we looking at?
Yeah, all kinds of.
Okay.
All kinds of type of perception.
Ah, that's my favorite kind.
Plus the song that you've been hearing up until this point stopped. It is still, the feeling is still there, but mostly because of whatever you slotted. Okay. So you
I
see.
can add more dice if hearing is also involved.
I'm gonna say like visual mostly probably, but this is
Okay,
just like to look around the room and just notice stuff. You notice that the orc, there's like let's say like a very thin metallic sheet. I don't know how to call that, but it's made out of thin sheets of metal, like a room, like almost like a closet.
Okay.
That has like this not see-through glass, Venetian glass, I think. Windows, and the orc walks into that one, and around it 2 other orcs, which are not as happy as everyone around, are standing. And you also notice that among all the guys in the room, there is one man dressed in bright pink sort of robe that is too long for him and has like those long sleeves, and he's walking around everyone, touching this guy, smiling to him, talking to another guy, and he's just walking like a priest of some kind around the room, and he's very hard notice. The troll sort of like stands next to you, his hand over his shoulder, and is like, just inhales. It's like, my favorite place on earth. And he just like waits for your reaction.
We're standing outside of the shed,
Like-
or
No, you're standing like near the entrance to the whole like dome thing, which will be,
okay.
if you laugh from my drawing, just don't laugh. It's like a half dome thingy. The shed is something like here, and it's clear that it wasn't here in the first place. It's just like built after the fact of discovering this place.
Yeah, it's basically like a prefab.
And there's like a few corridors go out but are locked. They're like doors. But everyone's more or less is here. The middle. And you are standing where the X is with the troll. And Dante, you're somewhere along the line of the fabulous maze I draw.
Okay.
The fabulous maze. It even makes sense here.
This is a pretty chill scene, man.
Do you want to meet Abrielle? Do you want me to introduce you?
I mean, sure.
He just like drags you like a very excited kind of kid who and he is bigger than you, so he drags you towards the pink guy.
Whoa, dude,
Uh,
hold up. I like my arm where it is, man.
oh, I'm sorry. You know what? If you want to meet him, then just maybe let him come to you. I don't know about that stuff. And then, as he finishes saying that, there's this weird look on his face as he sort of starts looking through you, and then he turns around and almost like jumps, almost like he would be defending or attacking something. He jumps at a lump of clay nearby and furiously starts sculpting and like trying to make a shape, and he just stops seeing you.
Is he screaming, "Why must I fail at every attempt at masonry"?
He's not screaming. He has his unusually long tongue outside of his lips and he's biting it, but that's all. I think it's established now that in this world, trolls have unusually long tongues. I'm sorry.
Do they?
I don't know.
Oh.
Now they do. Dante, you're a little bit more focused, and you see that there's not much to see in the maze itself, but you see paintings and like discarded sculptures and some evidence of people who were standing guard along the corridor, which now they aren't. And as you're steadily approaching, I assume you're gonna stop somewhere around the part when you can hear things. Like you start hearing the drum circle, you start hearing the music, whatever's happening inside. This is not quite because there's like a little turn I drew, so you don't see Jet and stuff, but you're close enough.
Okay.
And whoever wants to do stuff from you two for a little while longer before we get to Ali and Hex.
Have I noticed how many guards there are?
So when you were following Jet, you saw that there was like an art party outside of the entrance to the corridor, in a group of people kind of way, and there was only one orc with a rifle, the one that Jet gave his bigger gun to.
That's over there?
Yeah, and when he retreated into the corridor, you probably looked around for a little bit, but there was no one else, right?
Okay.
So as you travel along the maze, I assume with your perception rolls, you kind of, looked for a guard or something, but you saw no one there. So I'd say that you're standing near the big dome structure, suspiciously without interruption. It wasn't even that hard. It's like they either don't protect themselves or
something else.
Yeah,
Right.
I prefer
So,
it, without finishing, but thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I'm over in there, I'm guessing.
Somewhere in there, and the corridor is like this gray. There are like a couple of rooms along the way that have like tables and chairs in them, but mostly it's like a gray corridor that is, aside from like painting and sculptures and stuff, it's pretty uninteresting, I'm gonna say.
Alright, then yeah, I'm just gonna sit and listen until I find my moment.
Now, Jet, do you have your stuff turned on, like your microphone and stuff and such?
Assuming my settings carried over to my burner.
Do they? Yeah, maybe we can assume that they do. So Dante, you're going to pretty much see most of the stuff that Jet is doing. He's
Okay.
not totally buying the stuff, apparently. So, Jet, what are you doing? As your friend just left you, you
Okay.
can see the orc eyeing you suspiciously a little bit from near the shed.
Um,
Orc?
and
Orc.
the
Orc.
guy who went off to start rage sculpting, like you said, it's best if he comes to you. Do I know what he meant there?
I mean, the best you can tell, he didn't mean anything specific. He's just a troll who's in his favorite place, and you just expressed that you don't want to be taken there, so he was taken aback by this, and
I didn't say that. I said, yeah, sure.
well, it's apparently what he understood, and by
Okay.
he it means I. So sorry.
Okay. So hopefully you won't be punching too much clay in real life. Uh, yeah, Jet's gonna stand there kind of awkwardly, like, this is a nice place and all, but like a really good party, but you don't know anybody.
Hmm.
And he's finally gonna speak up, and one of the orcs is eyeing me, right?
Mm-hmm. The same one that took your stuff earlier.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up to him. Listen, dude, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing here. Like, do you have like a pamphlet or some literature? Because I feel like I'm sticking out and like I should be doing something. I just don't want to ruin the scene. You know what I mean, Chummer?
Mm-hmm. Just wait a second. Now, Jet, you start feeling a presence outside of your mind that's gently caressing your consciousness, and you hear a voice saying, "Open up, allow me in." And Bamce, Mind Link is a power that I'm guessing is used on willing creatures. Would I assume Jet is a willing creature?
The like mind link spell.
Mm-hmm. Like, sort of, yeah. Because I can see it here. It's in the Street Grimoire on 196. And it's just like a simple sustained critter with mind link power can open and stuff. It's like a critter power, more like.
I mean, that's up to Jet if he feels the poking at his brain and the
Mm-hmm.
will to
So, Jet,
resist it.
would you be
Um,
willing?
well, Jet's probably a little confused by this. He's not like freaked out because I guess everything's so awesome all the time. But hello, he thinks.
So, but this is I need like consent levels of your cooperation. Do
No,
you
I
let
know,
the
but
voice
like,
in?
no. What I'm saying is he would like to know.
Oh, who's
Yeah,
there?
like trying to. Yeah, it's like what the hell's going on? Like, let me in. Like, like what do you mean? What's going on? How is this?
I want to show myself.
Who are you?
And as this happens, you see the priest sort of sharply turned around and look at you. And in this sort of over the top dramatic fashion, start walking through the room, caressing a person there, throwing a compliment there. And he walks up to you slowly as you're standing there. He's like, "Ah, a new person. Welcome, child. Welcome into the Enclave."
Thanks, Chummer. Um, I'm hearing voices. Is that like normal?
It is your own inspiration talking to you. You should allow it in. It is everywhere inside.
Okay, but like, if it's my inspiration, that's cool. But like, if it's somebody else, like I get a lot of weird thoughts, and I don't. Has have you ever had like somebody really close to you accidentally look at your browser history?
He gives you a small chuckle. Ah, I will enjoy having you here, friend. But the question is, do you enjoy those thoughts? Why not let the voices in? It will only get better from here.
Okay, but like if I hear like screaming or somebody's hair turns white, I mean, like I'm gonna have to, shut things down, just for their own safety. 'Cause,
He grimaces as
Agreed.
he totally doesn't get the reference you're saying, and looks around the room, stands sort of next to you, looking in the direction you're looking, and he just encompasses the whole room in his, like, let's say, wavy hand motion. It's like, do you see them? Do you see them calm and inspired and full of hope, and not thinking about the hopelessness of the outside world over here? This could be you as well. What is your job, friend? What is it that you're going to leave behind for this?
Friends, a way to help out. I mean, I'll hear what they have to say. I just got a lot of. I'll come right out and say it. I'm a bit of a perv, so I don't want like, I'm kind of nervous. You know what? You don't need to hear that. Sure. Uh, and in his thought is yeah. Come on in, but just don't rifle around too much, or things might not work right for you anymore, if you know what I'm getting at.
So you feel a little bit of a link form with your mind, and with this, you see, and this is actually an interesting question. What is the what would a beautiful woman look like for Jet?
Okay. Body like a physically possible Jessica Rabbit. Short, slightly rough shod, or not rough shod, like like a tartan Catholic schoolgirl shirt, skirt that has seen some wear, like a leather jacket with a t-shirt underneath that has some really geeky reference, maybe to a movie. Wild dyed hair, a couple of piercings, crazy lipstick, big eyes, little smirk on her face.
Okay. So
Like some engineer boots, thigh high stockings.
So as close an approximation to that as is sort of maybe physically possible or interpretable, if that's a word, appears in the middle of the room, sort of like you see those bright sparkles that starts forming out of thin air and sort of coalescing in this beautiful woman. That is as close as it can get to your description. At which point you can see the guy sort of like chuckle lightly and is like, "You're an interesting person, friend." And the woman sort of appears and starts walking in your direction, gracefully, with a little bit of like an attitude. And I would say because of the Power's nature, you can definitely feel like that link is to her, that she is linked to you by her mind. And he smiles to you, and she stands next to the weird pink priest, and she looks you straight in the eyes. It's like these "I'm not even phased" type of a woman, you know. She just looks you straight in the eyes, and if there's like nothing happening and an awkward silence, she still is looking you in both eyes, intently and very intensely.
Jet is like a deer in the headlights. His mouth is hanging open. He doesn't even realize it.
The priest sort of chuckles a little bit and is like, "Yes, she does that to people. Meet Thalia, our own angel."
Hi, Talia.
She walks up to you and extends a hand, but in a motion that's like, you can kiss my hand type of motions.
Jet gives the shyest, most nervous little hand wave you have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how Jet projects himself and then just like flip it on its end. That's him right now.
And Dante, you hear and let's say see most of it. I'm
Guessing
gonna say
except for the chick.
that is actually interesting. No, you see the chick as well. I'm gonna interpret. You see her appearing out of thin air, materializing, and actually, I mean, you see Jet's sort of fantasy girl become true, which you can only assume is his fantasy of some kind. Or just a random chick, you don't know. I mean, there's a weird woman that appeared out of nowhere. Does any one of you have like a magical knowledge stuff?
Nope.
So yeah, that's the extent of stuff that happens. I'm gonna say that just right about now, Ali and Hex are arriving with Frogman near the bend in the corridor, near the purple thingy. And as he's like leading you, he says, "Well, this is the part where I left your friends. There are usually some people there, with I mean, happy people, but with guns, and I don't know how that ends. So you should probably I don't know, go alone." And he throws a look at Ali's rifle. It's like, I don't have those.
She'll give a look over to Hex and see what Hex is up to.
Hex is going to be like, thank you?
Well, I don't know. You asked me to take you places, so I took you places, and I don't know. Just good luck.
Hex goes, well, when we get back out, is there anything we can do for you?
Well, I mean, I was promised some cat food, but that was like only one person, so if you had like more, I'm probably interested. I mean, there's not a lot of food to go around in here.
Hex looks over at Ellie. Yeah, I'm sure we could probably get some cat food. Make that happen, right?
And even before Ali responds, as he sees you throw the look, he's like, "You look cat food too? I mean, that makes sense, right?"
There's just death glare at Hex, and she'll fish around in one of her pockets, pull out a comm link that probably has no service here.
I was hoping you were gonna say cat food can, but no, sorry.
No,
That would be so awesome.
no, she does not like cat food. That's gross.
Okay. Damn it.
No, but no, she'll pull out a like a burner, which I think is just a metal link that she has. It's the garbage one that she carries.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll kind of hand it off to him. It's like, look, if you can get a signal on this thing, just it's got my other number in it, and you can just call me if you need something, I guess.
He reaches out with his like greasy, bandaged hand with webbed fingers, grabs the comlink, watching for your hand, like for Ali's hand, so to not to make it dirty or anything. Takes it from you and says, "Oh yeah, I know where signals are here. Not very often, but yeah, thank you. Wow." And he sort of like looks at it for a second. There's been some time since I had one of those.
Should we go see what the boys have gotten themselves into?
Uh, yeah, go ahead and finish. Hurts?
So, like, Hex is going to bow to Mortimer before he leaves.
You're real quiet, Hicks.
Yeah.
Hex is going to bow to Mortimer before he leaves. Just saying thank you. Thank you very much.
He extends. No, sorry. He cocks his head a little bit, looking at you. You assume because he has those goggles, and he's like, "You're welcome. If you're here, I mean, why would you be here? But if you're here," and he just gestures at the whole place. And he extends the hand with the comlink. Maybe contact me. That's I might have, I don't know, other things I can show you. I don't know, but you're welcome, I guess. And he just casually sort of sticks to the wall next to him, and slowly but surely starts making his way back towards the metro tunnel. So you're alone right now. And I think I'm gonna jump to Dante. I just feel like at this moment, Dante and Jet. So whatever are you guys doing? Whichever wants to be first.
I think I'm gonna, or I can kind of see through Jet's eyes. You're saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know how exactly would that work. I assume it's working like that. Jet, you have goggles, right? With like cameras and stuff. So until you take off the goggles, I'm gonna assume, yeah.
How many guards have I seen inside the main room here?
Through Jet's perception roll, I'm gonna say just about as much as he saw. So 3, just sort of casual-looking orcs, definitely with guns, and not happy, just like just like blissfully happy like everyone else. But yeah, there's those 3: the priest and the weird Czech who just casually appeared out of the air.
Pretty much everyone else is finger painting.
Well,
Give or
all
take.
kinds of different stuff, yeah.
It's arts and crafts night at the rec center.
Yeah, and I mean, you see all kinds of levels of arts and crafts. You see very, very decent sculptures here and there, but also you see like actual finger painting and just like awful, you don't know what it means kind of drawings and paintings. All different levels. Yeah, and I mean, the orcs are, talking from time to time, but they don't appear to be eager to go back to guarding stuff. So you're probably good for now, at least for a time.
Okay. Still feeling good at the moment.
Okay, so Jet, as you're standing there, jaw on the floor and everything. She takes your hand into hers, as the priest sort of looks like he just allow her to do all the stuff. She looks at you and says, "Were you alone? Why are you here? Were you looking for me?"
Um, I was here to find some stuff that got stolen. I had some friends. I mean, I have some friends. I have a lot of friends. And they, I don't know where they are. I think they were hanging back.
The priest is like,
were you
huh?
were you the
Go
one
ahead.
who was like singing?
She smiles and gives you this little half shy chuckle, which is probably theatrical. It's like,
Yeah.
"You heard my voice. That's very fitting. Yes, that was my song, singing to all of those who could hear me. I know not all of them came, but I'm glad you came."
You have a killer voice. I mean, like really, just so whiz. Like it is. Um, why don't you have like an album or something?
You can swear she almost like blushes and is like, "Thank you. That is very kind of you to say. Why are you alone? I mean, you are not anymore." And she sort of gives you this long look. "Why are you alone here? Don't you want your friends to join in with?" And she sort of like gestures everything. And you can see, I'm gonna say like without even the perception check, you can see the priest look a little bit more concerned than before. He was just like, just politely smiling. Now he's, I guess, just like considering stuff, which is a drastic turn from being a good priest, father figure type guy. And go ahead.
They like. I mean, we were. I mean, I was the only one who heard you, and I figured they could finish the job, and like. You know, I mean, they got to eat too. What? This is a crazy scene. What's all this about? What? Why could I? Why did I hear you and nobody else did? And Dante, if you're getting audio, you can probably sort of hear Jet's heart hammering.
She leans closer to so that her lips are sort of like next to your ear, and she's like, "Because you have magic in you." And she like pulls away slowly and smiles.
Jet is a statue.
She smiles a little bit and is like, "Well, if your friends ever come, you should bring them to me." And she reaches out towards you, and you can see the priest sort of move a little bit as well. And now roll me your logic plus willpower.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna add a point of edge to that.
Oh, so you're using your last point of edge.
Yep.
That sounds like a scary proposition. Weren't you saving that last session?
Yeah.
Jesus, Bams, do you remember where are critter powers? Uh, I swore I saved that some time ago. Where the hell are you?
You can whisper me
Oh.
the. You found it?
Yeah. Got it. Mm-hmm.
They start in the core book at 394.
Yeah, I found it. Now, assuming... Okay. Um, okay, this is Jet. Now me. Oh no, sorry. It will take me just a moment longer. Okay. You feel this kind of as she extends her hand towards you, you feel this kind of a compulsion that is coming over you to express yourself. You feel this flow of inspiration, and it is so unearthly intensive. It is so just so much for you that you immediately there's like a red lamp in your brain that turns on. It's like, whoa, what's going on? This is not me. I've never wanted something so weird so badly, and you kind of instinctually block off a part of your brain, and you resist the temptation to throw yourself into the creative process like a madman. And she furrows her brow, if I know the expression correctly, and she's like, "You're a strong one, and a cautious one."
Got it in one. So,
And I would say right now, most of the stuff that's influencing you, like the hymns and the soft music in the background that's coming from the chip, and the general like happy-go-lucky stuff, is mostly away since you're like being adrenaline blocked by your own bodies. Like, there's something going on. Wake up, and you're like, ugh. So,
all right. So, Jet is going to look at her. So, yeah. How's about you tell me what you actually are? And he takes his metalink, drops it to the ground, and stomps it into pieces. And then...
with like the chip, are you stomping the chip as well?
The chip is in the link.
Okay,
so whether
just asking.
survives or not, I don't know, but the connection is cut off.
I'm assuming. Immediately, like the golden sparkles in the air, the soft background music, the like angelic choir you hear in the background. This all like stops.
Can I still see her?
Yes, she's still there, as real as you saw her before, and she seems concerned. It's like actually like almost hurt.
So, why don't you start off by telling me who or what you are and what the frag you were doing to me? And Jet snaps on his Blue Defender with a wireless command.
And that's the time Dante will come around the corner.
Immediately you see the orc sort of like they were in the middle of just chatting and having a good time looking at Jet being dumbfounded and everything. It's something that you feel they enjoyed quite a bit of times. And they sort of dumbfounded, grab the hilts of their hilts, Jesus, handles of their guns.
Sword guns.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VIII and everything.
God,
They just they sort of grab them, but the priest, extends a hand and is like, "Ah, the missing friend." He turns to you. Is that all?
I don't know
Of
where
them.
the others are, but I mean, you guys asked so nicely. So, like I said,
So both the
what are
person.
you and what
Okay,
are
okay.
you trying to do to me?
They both sort of stand in a way that they're not between you and Dante. So as Dante comes closer, he's like, "How are you approaching, Dante? You're just through the room."
I'm gonna stay fairly close to the entrance.
Oh, you're gonna stay there, right?
I'm not gonna come in too far, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep my hand near my holster.
Now, Jet, where would you stand in the room? Where would you say you stopped?
I don't. I mean, I asked one of the guys by the shed, and then the priest came over after the literal dream girl showed up. So I guess I'm right by the shed.
So I'm gonna say Jet is here. And so they are here. That sucks. So they are between you, just standing. The priest sort of looks at you and is like, "What do you mean? We are trying to bring those people happiness, and you as well. Weren't you tired of?" And he sort of. It seems like he wanted to ask you for a longer time, since you're dressed sort of in a combat-like fashion, but now that Dante emerged and everything, he just finishes of fighting. I'm gonna only assume you're one of the gang members. We have those here as well, and he points at both the Scorches and the Trogs, which is now a Scorch and a Trog member are furiously having a paint battle in the corner of the room using green, purple, and red.
I ain't a gang member. You gotta stop it with those assumptions, man. Not all trogs, right?
Ah, then I extend my apology. I think, as we almost clearly expressed what we are doing here, that you have us at a disadvantage. Why did you come here, other than to throw rude comments at my friend? And the girl, if you ever seen a girl look heartbroken, she looks like that at you. Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, we were here to do a job. I heard the voice. I got sucked in for a little while. I don't know who this girl is, but or what this girl is, but she's clearly able to access some of my mind. And I mean, bravo, you had me stuttering like a little schoolboy, right? The job doesn't necessarily involve you. We came here to find a shipment that got hijacked. Maybe you guys have something to do with it, maybe you don't. If you do, just give us what we need, and you keep on doing your whole arts and crafts thing.
I'm gonna say, since Dante is in the room and probably sees and hears the conversation pretty well, reasonably well with his hearing aids and everything, why don't both of you roll judge intentions kind of thing? I don't know if it's a regular thing for game masters to ask their Shadowrunner players to roll stuff, but it's a thing I sort of carried over from D&D, I think.
How dare you ask us to roll dice?
I was more wondering, like, should it be you who ask me to roll stuff, and if you don't, then it's your choice, but I don't know. Just go ahead and maybe judge someone's intentions. Okay. Bams. So they roll like composure and stuff.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
If they're trying to hide things from them,
Which they probably are. I'm gonna say he. She doesn't really try to hide anything right now. She just looks at Jet with her hand on her chest, saying something like, "I can only feel and hear what you allow me to, nothing more." In the event that occurs of a tie, who wins? The attacker or the defender?
the defender.
Okay. So he says, he just looks at you guys and it's like, a stolen shipment? I mean, here? We don't deal in stealing. Everyone in here brings things to us willingly to help this community thrive. This place of wonder and peace and art in the middle of a rotten sewage that takes away meta people's lives. And you can see the few conscious meta people around him sort of like faintly clap and like, ah.
That's cool. But we're just here to do a job. And by the way, commendable effort. Don't appreciate the chips or the drugs. But yeah. So if you guys don't have anything, we're out. And Jet sends a message to Dante. You good with that?
I don't know. From what it looked like, the ship you were on, you might be very close to what we're looking at. Or looking for.
Well, you want to use your purty mouth. Go right ahead. Jet is also going to scoop up the remains of the link.
Mm-hmm. Roll your edge, I guess. Attribute, value.
I gotcha.
Me too, or just Jet?
No, just Jet. He was the one stomping on the thing. Yeah, the chip is like totally broken.
Okay. Tosses it back down on the ground.
Mm-hmm. So they are standing there. Most all of the orcs are just jumping from Jet to Dante, their hands on their guns, and are just like, when are those two going to get hostile? And the priest is like, if you have nothing more to contribute, if you don't want to stay, then leave, and leave us alone. We have enough problems with the gangs already.
You need to chill out, man. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'd like my gear back, though. That'd be cool of you.
He looks at the orcs. The orcs sort of shrug a little bit. There's a little eye conversation going on there, and he looks at you, says like, once you're out of the premise, we can return your weapons, just never come back.
No, you're gonna give it to me now. I mean, I'm not going to do anything. Lord knows I could have before.
So Dante's gonna start walking up to get closer to Jet.
Mm-hmm.
I also rolled a perception to see if I noticed anybody else's comlink after seeing Jet dispose of the chip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say that not the orcs comlinks, because they have their stuff neatly organized. They're dressed pretty much like you, like almost battle, like combat style, vests and stuff. But mostly everyone else here are either lying on or near their comlink with cables everywhere, and the chips are, if not clearly visible, then when you see the first few of them, you know where to look, and they're there. Most of the guys here have their chips on and are probably on them. And there's, I'm gonna say, like, people are sort of walking in and out of those corridors that are locked. They're like, opening the door and walking out. And by people, I mean meta people. And there's like estimating maybe 30 people at
Alright.
one time.
This is gonna be a phenomenally bad idea. But I'm just gonna walk up and take somebody's comlink and pull the chip out.
Okay. As you do that, we're gonna jump to Hex and Ali. Hex, Ali. Hex, if there was ever a thing you felt like you recognized the devices of your friends, I'm gonna say that maybe through some weird technomancer bullshit, as Bamce likes to call it, you feel their comlings nearby.
Okay. Like, well, Hex and Dante are out here, so one of them did a good job.
You meant Jet.
Jet, I'm sorry. I said Hex, didn't I? Well, I just realized that.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird.
Yeah, I'm like, Jet and Dante, their comlinks are nearby, so they should be out here somewhere.
Well, let's see if we can find them.
So
Do you
you're
want to
just...
take point?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Hex is
I'm
gonna
just
go do
waiting for you to
point.
finish.
Yeah, I can't really hear Hex, though.
Okay.
Yeah, Hex said, do you want to take point?
I mean, I guess. Do you actually have a gun on you, or...?
Hex pulls her taser. Yeah, you didn't hear that, did you, Vamps? I said Hex pulls her taser.
Yeah, she went,
Might as well pull out pepper spray.
I don't know, that taser's got pretty good armor pin.
I mean, the pepper spray technically has, like, a better effect as it makes you, like, horrifically nauseous for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. I should invest in that and then scream, let go of my purse.
Should
That'd be
invest
my
in a
next
gun.
challenge.
But that would be violence.
I know, she kind of likes her taser.
I like the idea of Hex running around with a paintball gun. The pepper rounds.
Yeah, I was going to say just loaded with pepper rounds. That would have been
So
great.
how are you proceeding?
We're going to attempt sneakily, and I'm sure that Hex is going to screw that up.
She's good at that, might I add.
I'm gonna say just because you don't know that, but there's no one actually there. Just, for the sake of going through the labyrinth, X, please.
There we go. I was like, hold on, I know I can roll this. Yeah, good job.
Woohoo!
Technically roll that.
Nice. Okay. What's a 0? Oh no, it's 4. So, as Allie goes into sneaky mode and starts using her cat-like grace, Hex just, assumes, like hunches and assumes a sneaky position, which doesn't really help, and just walks behind her. And you girls walk through the labyrinth, and I'm gonna say, so, because he got any successes, Dante and Jet, it's not really hard to notice that one of the orcs sort of reaches to his ear, and puts 2 fingers to them and starts listening to what's going on. Allie, you're walking through the corridor, and Hex is just like, I would say mostly like stomping through the corridor. It's pretty dark, and it's weird, and there's a lot of trash around. It's hard to be sure of how your footing is going. So from time to time you just bump into things, there's a can there, a weird chair over there, and Allie is probably just right in front of Hex.
As we kind of go along and we realize that Hex is shit at sneaking, Allie's actually gonna spread themselves out a little bit.
Okay. So, can I assume that Allie will be, let's say, something like here, and Hex will be like here, or are you switching?
I think Allie's still leading the way, but yeah.
Okay.
Thanks
So,
for the observation, by the way, Bamce.
You're like 5 kilos soaking wet. How are you so heavy-footed?
They didn't get wet, actually. They went the roundabout way.
No, I mean, it's a phrase, you're like, 100 pounds soaking wet or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's like with added water weight. You're still that weight.
Okay, get it. Now, I think
Basically,
maybe.
how can somebody so small be so heavy-footed?
Oh, you learn something every day, or night, or morning. So, as you're getting closer to the sounds of music and just general like drumming, and I mean, without the perception test, Ali, you can hear, and first of all, like your smelling is being assaulted in here. There's a lot of incense and like some kind of oils, and it mixes, for you at least. Everyone else is just like overwhelmed with the incense, but for you it mixes up with the trash and everything else in here, and the smell of not so fresh humans, meta-humans, sorry, don't want to be racist. And that's about the smell, and you can hear the drumming, the talking, the painting, the sculpting and everything, and also a little bit of conversation in between all of that. And that's what you hear. Unless you guys are sharing like a video feed or something as soon as you get in range. I don't know how that works.
No, I don't have any like cameras or anything rolling.
Mm-hmm. So that's what you hear. So are you doing anything?
So we sneak in, we hear all the chanting and stuff. Do I need to roll a perception roll to see if I see Dante or Jet?
If you need to roll, I'm gonna say you need to repeat your sneaking roll if you want to try to see Dante without anyone else seeing you. Just like visually. But if you just enter the room, they're not that hard to find. They're pretty much the only other half-dressed, combat-looking people, except for the orcs you don't know at all. So,
Well, that's better. It doesn't matter. Everybody still saw me.
Yeah, you poke your head inside, and it's like, what the? And there's like 3 eyes going on you at the same time. And then there's Dante, who just pulls a plug on one of the trolls. Let's say, Dante, do you want to pull a plug of a troll, an orc? There's mostly what's around
The
you.
smallest, weakest thing I see.
Okay, so there's actually a human in there, and he looks famished. He looks thin and light, like almost like lighter than Hex. And you pull the plug on his comlink, and the woman sort of like half screams no and extends a hand towards him. And I'm gonna say he just there's like a split second of like recognition in his eyes as he sort of like looks beyond him, and as he was trying to like make a cube out of a lump of clay or something. He dropped that for just a split second, and then he just grabs it and starts making this well, half decent looking sculpture of what the woman looks right now. And he just starts doing it just over and over. It's just like in a fever. There's like actual sweat on his face, and he's breathing heavily, his face red. He's like doing that. He just stands up, and just keeps doing that very, very intently.
Did I catch the
link is out.
recognition?
I mean, you were looking for a reaction, so I'm gonna say yeah. You just pulled the link and just saw what happened.
Does the chip happen to look similar to what the priest was talking about? The one who hired us?
Well, I would assume he would give you some kind of the chips look like that, with that and that marking and that serial number or whatever. But the question is Dante sort of proficient in stuff? In hacker stuff? Would you even need to be proficient in that, Bamce? How do you think?
If he got a physical description of what the chips actually look like, and these chips look like those chips, he wouldn't need like anything super technical to do with them. Like if it's like it's a red chip. Imagine you're describing a USB stick to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And if it looks like the USB stick that you find in the drawer over there, then you can make some assumptions.
There's like an ever so slight fake gold marking of an old Catholic church on it. So yeah, there's no mistaking the chip you're looking for in the comlink.
He's gonna slowly start walking towards the chick and just say, "You're going to stop what you're doing here. Now."
The woman vanishes. Just like, and the priest sort of like turns to you halfway, like maybe it's his imagination, like how he imagines threatening looks like. He just like makes himself very wide and puffs his chest out, and it's like, "You will leave this place. You will leave those people alone. We are trying to make their lives better."
Have you just thought about putting up a fresh coat of paint and sourcing some actual food?
He turns around to you and says like, "We have food. We have things. We give them things. They are cared for."
Then you won't need the chips. It's not nice to lie, Home.
Okay, Dante, now, are you doing something aggressive or just in case?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull my gun out and shoot him in the face.
Bams?
On that note, let's take our first break.